to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George.
Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists, where today we are going to be discussing The Princess Bride, released on October 9th, 1987, written for the screen and based upon the book by William Goldman and directed by Rob Reiner. I am Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, buddy?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. We're kicking off a month that we are dubbing Nostalgia November, with something that feels quintessential to that feeling of yearning for the childhood, reminiscing on the old days. It's beautiful. I love it. How'd you feel about The Princess Bride here?
Yes, a very comfy start to the month. That's for sure. I think kind of all nostalgic movies, they're very much go hand in hand with comfort movies. It's just
absolutely
they're that feeling of comfortness and a nice start to my morning for the movie. Usually, last month was always the late night. I want to get as dark as it can be. I want to be as scary, into the scary spookiness as I could. But now it's like these. I feel like the time of day doesn't truly matter, but it was a very, very beautiful start to the morning, and I don't know, the day seems so much better to look forward to. I don't know, to look forward to, and it just is very but thanks to the movie, it's just very, very easy to watch, very classic, very makes me yearn to live during this time. If we didn't have to take all of the social all of those consequences that follow, and then everything else. But no, yes, this is, it's one I haven't seen in a while. It's been a while since the last viewing. But as a kid, I guess it was always in the rotation. My sister quite enjoyed this one, a whole lot. And then, just fluttered, for here and there when, I grew up, I guess, but then, now it's nice to get a viewing in now, after I'd say it's probably been 3-4 years minimum. I don't know since I've watched it. So, but yeah, that's
last time I watched it was last December. But before that, I couldn't tell you when the last time was. My Emily's stepmom really, really loves The Princess Bride. And since I'm the movie guy, they all her family tries to find if I've watched their movies, And The Princess Bride was her stepmom's, and I didn't know it nearly as well as she did, but she got really excited when I told her that I liked The Princess Bride. So she told me she got me the Blu-ray copy of it for like Christmas and stuff, and I really appreciated it. So that was very sweet of her. But I love the movie, man. I do. I think it's incredibly endearing. It's incredibly cozy. It is the perfect way to start this month. It is actually exactly the goal I had in my head for what the month would feel like as far as what we're covering. 100% the purpose of this and Fantastic Mr. Fox being the bookends of the month.
Oh yeah,
but
this month is gonna be just phenomenal. Yeah, very.
Oh, I'm super excited. I'm super excited.
But yeah, you hit the nail on the head here with this one, because it just makes me. It's so timeless that this, a story just like this is very just classic princess.
Yeah, fantasy, good versus evil.
Oh,
yeah.
And you got your quirky characters, or like every kind of, you got the giant, you got the brains, and then the Andigo Montoya. I love that's like the guy. He's always the one I remembered out of the movie.
You killed my
as
father.
A kid. Yes,
Prepare
that line.
To lie.
It's just classic. And so, but yeah, now I appreciate the love story a whole lot more. And just the
you're like Fred Savage. You've learned to like the kissing parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and that's what I really love too, is that obviously it's a really sweet romance. It's very, cheesy, corny, romantic, endearing stuff, and I love the I'm a sucker for the fact that they can condense a full love story into the first 5 minutes of this movie, and like if you've seen it before, it hits pretty solidly. And if you haven't seen it before, it's still very, very sweet and very romantic. Like the whole and in that moment she realized that when he said "as you wish," what he meant was "I love you." And then the way that they look at each other, I love Carrie Elwes and Robin Wright's chemistry. Robin Wright, obviously, kind of a living legend. Between this and Forrest Gump a few years later, where she was Jenny. She became president of the United States in House of Cards about 30 years later.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she's been around the block, and she was also in Wonder Woman most recently. I feel, not most recently, but that was one of the things she was in with in the DC universe. She was one of the Amazons on Themyscira, but yeah, she's been around the block, and she does an incredible job as Princess Buttercup. But Carrie Elwes is always going to have that air about him that's just kind of like this sexy good boy. Damn, you fine as hell, and you sweet as hell. I like it. I'm into it. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna before, the main thing I know him from is I guess truly this would have been his beginning for me, but what seared into my brain was Saw. He's one of the main two guys in the Saw movies that's trapped by Jigsaw, and he has to get out. And so I knew, I feel like I know him as this roughed guy that's trying, sawed his own fucking ankle off just to get to a bone, and he's just down on his luck. And then here it's the complete polar opposite. Dude is just the perfect kind of farm boy that there could be. I don't know, and he's just treating to this was she a princess before, or was she just a
she was a princess prior? Yeah.
Okay, so she's always been kind of royalty, because I guess
she's royalty.
Fucking far. I don't know why I want to call him Farquaad all the time.
Yeah, I mean that is definitely the basis of inspiration for Farquaad, at least modernly. It's a very stereotypical,
Humperdick. I mean, it's great. Just what a name to go off of. But no, the going from farm boy to then becoming the pirate of the time, of the most feared pirate in the world, or I don't know if this was just the area or whatever, and then coming back to save the day. I don't. Yes, it was. He is fucking baller.
Oh, it's awesome. I love that sequence too. Whenever him and he has Buttercup, and he's she's pouring her heart out about how he'll never be her love, and the prince doesn't know that I found my love and I've given up, and now this is what life is, and and then she pushes him down the hill, and he goes, "As you wish." It's she's like, "Oh God, what have I done?"
Immediately flings herself down there too. She's like, "All right, so I'm joining you." Yeah,
so funny. And that's what I love about it, man. Is it's silly and it's fun and it's super fast paced. It goes really, really quick. Great hour and 35 minutes or whatever. But the aspect of the movie that I haven't appreciated in the past nearly as much as I do now is the grandpa telling the story to the kid.
True.
I haven't cried watching this movie. Well, I've teared up, but last night, I don't know, maybe it was just the right concoction of marijuana or something, but last night, whenever the grandpa turns around at the end and is like, "As you wish." It's so sweet, dude. It fucking it gets me. It gets me so good because I just think that's so adorable. Given when he says "as you wish," what he means is "I love you." It's a very, very I love that because I don't know, connecting with your family over something. I remember various times that my dad showed me something that I didn't think I was going to like, or that, I was like, all right, whatever, I guess we can watch this. Then I ended up kind of being like, okay, yeah, this ain't bad. Maybe we could watch the next one tomorrow. And it'd be like, okay, yeah, we can. And even more recently, there's something that I watch with my dad at Christmas that nobody else in the house wants to watch. Everyone else refuses to watch it, but I decided to watch it with him last year because it'd been years and he's really nostalgic for it, which is Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. It's one of the Jim Henson productions, Muppet ass stuff. Super fun, 40 minutes, not long, goofy as fuck. Aged. It came out in 77. Like there's no doubt. Like that's what this movie's from. But it's just sweet to experience something that your family loves for the sake of them, and I think it's very sweet. So whenever he turns around, he's like, "As you wish." It just gets me. I love that.
Yeah, I guess I haven't had. There was maybe I was just so warm. I didn't quite get to a cry or quite to like a tear up. It was just like almost. It was so happy, so almost the tearful or happy tears came down. And yeah, maybe like if anything is missing from the movie, which I don't think it's truly going for like the hard emotional hit at the end of the movie. They keep it very light, and it is like I feel like supposed to be just a children's story, or like to just get the bigger ideas. How the kid like where's the sports, where's the blah blah blah, and he wants the fire swamp and the cool stuff, but then he's like, no, he can't marry her. That's not right. That can't happen. And then he's actually it's like
he's so invested,
evolution.
and I love the part. It's towards the beginning of the movie whenever Buttercup jumps into the water. And he can tell the grandpa stops reading and looks at him and goes, "She makes it out. It's going to be okay. I can tell you're nervous." He goes, "I'm not nervous. I'm concerned maybe, but that's different. It's hardly the same." And I love that part, especially whenever he starts reading again. And it's like a paragraph early. And he goes, "Grandpa, you already read that." And the grandpa's kind of like, "Okay, yeah, you're really in this shit, huh? Okay, I like that. I like hear like he's just testing him a little bit to see how in it he is. I love it. That's so fucking sweet. And I just love the way the movie makes me feel. It's one of those ones that comfort movie to the absolute max. If when I'm sick, when I'm down, this is a reliable go-to. And it's super simple. It's not a complicated movie. It is just what it is. And I appreciate that even for a 1980s movie, it even has this older feeling to it. It reminds me of, like the original Adventures of Robin Hood from like the 30s. Like it has that kind of fantasy feel where the stage is really, really practical and it isn't strictly going for realistic, like the platform where Inigo Montoya and Wesley have their fight. Those rocks, like that's obvious. Like those are to give me a stage of rocks that don't even look like real rocks is a fun choice, And Rob Reiner is a really, really underrated director, I think. And a really incredible actor. You would have seen him in Wolf of Wall Street. He was. Who's got the fucking gall to call on a Tuesday night? That's the guy who directed this. It's $2,000
on fucking sides.
On sides. That's Rob Reiner. He also did When Harry Met Sally and Stand By Me. So he's got a series of iconic 80s movies under his belt. That's kind of like, holy shit, Rob, like, especially when people our age probably know Rob Reiner, like have seen Rob Reiner in stuff. Like he's an actor who's been around. Like one of my favorite roles of his is in New Girl. He plays the titular New Girl's dad. And he's not in it often, but when he pops up, it's great. I love when Rob Reiner's around. So it's just really interesting to see a gentleman this casually talented that hasn't risen to the forefront of his field strictly in those regards, either acting or directing, but has consistently put out work that is really impressive. And The Princess Bride, I think, is probably a crowning achievement for me personally in his body of work. When Harry Met Sally is probably the best rom-com ever, so that's saying a lot for The Princess Bride.
Yeah, like their fight up there on the rocks, and then like having the bar they swing off of or whatever.
Yep.
Like it's clearly like a set, but I think like the point of it is that it doesn't matter. Like it's like what matters is
it's
that
storybooky.
Yeah, it's a grandpa telling his grandson a story, So like in a meta sense, like this is all being imagined anyways. So like the movie that we're seeing is kind of like their imagination, working together, and I think you're right about like what I came appreciating the most out of this is like the onion kind of unwrapping of like that,
right.
That the story was written a long time ago and it hit all the same, the people who read it or the people who actually experienced it, if we're going back even further, if it's based on a true story or whatever, and then you jump forward in time, but like no matter what time it is, these tropes, all of these, the meaning and the themes of the story, they all still hit us, I don't know, like the same, no matter, it's just a very human thing. And it's you want reading it on your own is good enough. And like, if you can get into a book and you're like fully immersed, like that feeling is already incredible. But then like sharing that with someone else, like especially not just like a book club sense of like talking about it afterwards. It's like, in the moment, you're like both
reading
in
it together.
This story, and like that's just like it's kind of what movies are. If you're sitting in the theater with a bunch of other people, you're experiencing it. The other layer to the onion, and it's
back
like
in my day, my TV was books. He says, I'm with you. It really is about the communal experience of fiction. Bonding over stories, and I love that. I love that feeling. That's why whenever my family and I do family movie nights, that's why I want to do like our group of friends does that monthly game night. I want to do a monthly movie night. Like whenever I get my own place, I want to host people and watch a movie or two with them. Because sharing in that is really, really joyful. I described last week on our episode about Sinners, an interaction I had in the movie theater with a gentleman who was four seats away from me, who I'd never met in my life and never spoke to ever, and never interacted with again, where we both looked at each other during a part of the movie. We're like, damn, this is sick. The communal experience of engaging with fiction is very, very jubilant, typically. And I really, really love the way this movie emphasizes that. And I think that one of my favorite stretches of the movie, and this is rare for a movie for me to be this high on, but my favorite part of the movie is probably like the first 30 minutes. Like prior to Wesley getting Princess Buttercup, or reuniting with Princess Buttercup, and then her going back, like whenever they're interacting with with Vizzini and Fezzik and Inigo Montoya. That stretch of the movie is so good when he has to go through them one by one and they're running away and all that good stuff. I love those interactions, the climbing up the rope, the fight at the top of the rocks, the slowly choking out Andre the Giant, who, by the way, incredible that Andre the Giant is in this movie.
That's insane.
Truly a giant
human
man.
I know,
That was a real guy. No camera tricks being done. That is the size of that man.
Like he puts his hand, like I don't know, his hand just comes into screen. I feel like at one point, and then it's just like that looks so fake. Is like
on
that
top
just
of his head.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck is going
He's
on?
palming his head like a baseball, not a basketball, like a baseball.
Yeah.
Like it's that small in his hand. Truly one of the great WWE actor movies of all time. Not saying one of the best WWE performances of all time, but definitely one of the best WWE actors in a movie ever.
True.
I loved I love that. And Wallace Shawn is Vizzini, which is, I mean, an unforgettable voice. We grew up with that voice at the very least. As he was, the insurance man in Incredibles is one of the ones that I always go to immediately.
We're not running a charity, Bob, or whatever.
Yep, exactly. That is exactly it. And I'm pretty sure he's Rex in Toy Story.
He, like, I don't want to. The dinosaur. Oh, the
dinosaur.
God,
yeah.
No way. I guess. Wow. I didn't. Yeah, he is. I didn't. He's not like his mean self that I feel like he always is.
No, he's a lot more innocent. Yeah.
I feel like he. Oh, is he like in Turbo Man? I feel like this is a Arnold Schwarzenegger Christmas movie. I think
Jingle All the Way.
Thank you. Yes, not Turbo Man. That's the hero in it.
That is the toy they're trying to get. Yeah.
Is he in that? I think he might be the like one of the villains or kind of antagonists in there. But I might be remembering wrong. Maybe not. I guess I don't know. I don't see him in the cast, so I don't know what I'm thinking, but no, he's the wine scene or the poison, and him just
obviously you would know that I knew this, so you would I can't take the second one. Inconceivable. Yeah,
he loved that word. And yeah,
you keep using that word. I don't believe you know what I mean. I don't believe you know what it means.
But isn't that actually what it means, though? Like in the way
it is, but the way what he is saying is the way it's supposed to be used. But the things he says are inconceivable. Keep being conceived.
I see.
So
okay.
At a certain point, you got to stop using the word.
Yeah. Like a literally, I guess. Well, no,
literally everything you have been saying is inconceivable has happened. So maybe you're using the wrong word. I don't know. But and Inigo Montoya, when it comes to favorites of the movie, might actually be my character. I have a tough time not going with Inigo Montoya just because he actually has one of the more heartfelt journeys in the movie as the supporting character. Yeah. Him coming back around to defeat the six-fingered menace. Who also happens to be one of the biggest pieces of shit villains in the movie is very, very nice. I love that.
Man, created a freaking life-sucking machine, I mean,
I just took a year off your life.
That, like, it's literally sucking his nips, and, like, they put cups, like, right on his nips, right on his, like, hips, his like temples, I feel like I mean, and just super suck the life out of you. Turn the dial up to 1. Like all the practical, all the sets were like always they're like kind of fun.
The dungeon, it's kind of like the torture chamber or whatever. Really impressive set design. I really love it. Yeah.
And it kind of works as like comedy most of the time, I feel like, where it's like the swinging off that bar or like the dial up to 1 and then back down to 0, or like the looks of it all is like it's not funny in the sense that it's like low effort or anything like that. It's just like kind of like, I don't know. That's just like they took it to the most campy maximum that I feel like they could have, and it always just works so well. But no, like Indigo like actually I feel like just had the coolest story out of everything. He like set it up himself of just my father, the finest swordsman or swords crafter in the world, and the he actually made the sword, but for 1/10 the price. Hell no, he stood his ground, but got sliced right then and there. And then perfect like six-finger man, you're gonna recognize him immediately, right whenever he pops back up. So it's like I feel like the most contained, the most the best definitely side story, if not just kind of like the coolest or most emotionally impactful one out of the whole movie. But yeah, it's like that whenever he fights back at the end, it feels like he is like dead, but then we have Buttercup and Wesley reunited again, and then like love is in the air, and then he comes back. Like I can't. I feel like it's back, like it's not a coincidence. Like it's weird that like he feels like he is truly dying or like he is giving up, but then like the second that Wesley and Buttercup are kind of back together. Like it is going back and forth between them and him, and then he gets this like surge of life back in him, and maybe he was just playing him the fool, I guess, or I don't know what his plan was, but no, it was a beautiful.
You seem a decent fellow. I hate to kill you. You seem a decent fellow. I hate to die. I like the movie is just so full of these incredible little quotes that I absolutely adore, and they usually involve Inigo Montoya, which is why like I think that I do have to go with him for character. Performance is a little harder because everyone is they're all doing this this bit. They're all committing to this bit. So it is a little harder to like differentiate who my favorite is that's doing this, but it's ultimately pretty hard for me to not go with either Cary Elwes or Robin Wright. They are kind of and I'll probably go Cary Elwes. I think that he
gets to do a little more, I feel like, and like playing the pirate first, playing, kind of not himself but himself, and then he's fully Wesley again. Like I felt like he just had to do a little more, and then like the physical acting too of getting the life sucked out of you, and all that. But no, I feel like if you'll go with him, I'll gladly go with Robin Wright to spread the love, at least to have everyone mentioned. But yeah, I think I wish maybe she was given a little bit more, because it does feel like she is just being kind of pulled between the men, obviously that is her struggle, and that it is like she doesn't have much say in these matters, and
right. But even in not having much say, she has her say. She puts down what her she puts her foot down. She just can't do much about it. She's not in a position to do much about it. And since it is that storybooky thing, it is like damsel in distress. I'll wait for my prince to come save me. Like it is, but she's protesting the whole way there. Like she's like, "Is my Wesley coming? All right, sorry. Bye. My Wesley will save me. I'm not getting married today. It's fine."
Yeah, that's true. A little. I wish maybe a little more initiative, or maybe a little. I mean, she was just like, "Well, no, I will kill myself." There's no doubt about that. She's like, "If this goes through, I will." I mean, I'm doing it.
There's so few perfect breasts in the world. It would be a shame to sell yours.
Oh man, he made it from the armor stand to the bed. That's all he could do, and then he muscled up the strength just to stand up and be like, "All right, bro, I'm gonna leave you with everything but your ears." So yeah,
you can hear the screams of the children who see you and are horrified. Yeah, to the pain.
Yeah. To the pain. Yes, I'm not sure I've heard that one before. And this,
he goes, I'll explain it to you.
But
cut off your feet at your ankles. I'll cut off your hands at your wrists. I'll cut off your nose. I'll cut off I'll poke each of your eyes out, but I'll leave your ears. Your ears will be used so that you can hear the reactions of everyone who is horrified by the sight of you. Like, yeah, that's a pretty terrible threat. I love at the door whenever they're like, give me the gate key. He's like, I don't have the gate key. Fezzik tears arms off. Oh, you mean this gate key? It's super funny, dude. I love the comedic flair the movie has. I love that it's silly, and it knows it's silly. It knows it's having a great time, and I have to imagine this is probably one of the more fun movies to have been a part of to make. Yeah. Like be in. I bet this shit was so much fun. I bet making any movie where you're doing these storybooky, swashbuckly stories, it's probably a great fucking time, man. I wish more movies like this were still being made.
Yeah.
But alas.
It feels like every movie now has to have some grander, or I don't know. It can't just be a movie for movie's sake. And it's just, maybe it's a money thing. It's just too business oriented now. It's too much money focused. I don't know. But it feels like with the technology we have, it'd be even easier to make these movies nowadays, and these sort of things. But I think the art of making sets like this, like everything is just so digital, or it's just, it saves so much more money to not have to build the stuff and not have to do all this effort anymore. And yeah, it just sort of takes away from it because like here it's
well, and we're getting back to a point now where movies, like with all due respect, Thor: Love and Thunder, for example, which is a movie that I think people are generally too harsh on. I don't think it's as awful as everyone says it is. It's not one of the worst comic book movies of all time, you know.
No.
I think it's aggressively mediocre, but I don't think it's awful. You know what I'm saying? One thing I do agree with is that the movie doesn't look particularly good, visual effects wise. That movie cost like $250 million to make.
Eesh.
So at a point, are we circling back to the point where VFX heavy movies are becoming more expensive than practical sets and practical effects? It's an interesting, and I don't know the math there. I don't know how much of it. I don't know how the budget's split up and everything. But I can tell you for certain that is an extremely VFX heavy movie, and it's one of the most expensive movies of the last few years. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder if it's more than we know that we can make movies so photoreal. You know, now at this point, that if it's not, then it's like, oh, what is this? You know, why this doesn't seem as you could have done better. But like in 87, not that this, you know, even this obviously isn't up to the best standard of 87. Like they could have done a whole lot better, but I think it doesn't matter as much maybe because there is so much more capability. Yeah, I don't know if this truly, you know, what the correlation is, I guess, between like how movies look
when it
now.
comes to the practical effects of this movie, I do think that there are certain things that, like the fire swamp sequence, that's extremely 80s. Mm-hmm. That part plays like with 80s effects and like the puppetry of the rodents of unusual size. The ROUSs, as she says, like, and the fire spewing up out of the ground and stuff. Like all of that is very, like, that's very contemporary effects. It is more set design based. That does feel like it harkens back to ages of old, which doesn't strictly speak to an incapability of building it to 80 standards. It is a choice. It is a way they chose to go, and I think that was wise. Frankly, I think it was a good choice on their part to not try to make things too contemporary. And even when things were contemporary like that, aesthetically speaking, they still aren't. And I think that is an interesting way to make a movie.
Yeah, they embraced the cheese, you know. It's like it doesn't matter, like, get past that, you know, be the kid, you know. It is cheesy at first and he's wanting all the cool stuff, but then it's like, no, the cheese makes it actually better. It's simple. It's
does.
like it makes it clear what we all are like trying to get out of the movie. And yeah, like the rope just being there on the side of the cliff for like things, like if you think too hard about things, it's like, oh, then it makes it just not fun. Like how the whole poison sequence, I think like that's the whole point, is like, bro, you're overthinking this way too. You're inputting like from Australia and that matters, or like it comes from there, and like it's like, dude, no, like none of that shit actually matters at all.
They were both poisoned.
And
I've spent the last few years building up an immunity to iocane powder. I love that. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah,
like,
there's
not a part of this movie that you aren't going to point to and for me to go, oh, I love that. You know, like I do. I just love it. It's a great fucking movie.
And I love, like, even at the very end, whenever Fezzik is back and he's like, hey, I found some horses for all of you, and then like everyone just jumps out of the window, and like Buttercup,
straight
we get
into
the
Andre,
slow motion, and like we get the catch.
I love that shot too, dude.
That's
by the way,
true.
whenever she's like glistening on the black background, it's beautiful.
And then Wesley and Inigo just jump, and then they're just there. It's like we don't see the catch. It's just like they just leap and they're just like gone, and it's like
on the horse just riding away. Inigo Montoya's got 3 brutal wounds, just jumping down.
Yeah. No, but the love healed all. It's
Love
we got the
propels.
gang now.
He's gonna get to be the next Dread Pirate Roberts. Let's fucking go. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I love that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Whether he wanted it or not, he felt like, but it does feel kind of right, I guess. Being a pirate isn't. I guess you're just going around stealing and thieving and whatever, and that's kind of
and I think I have a tough time imagining that Wesley was being like a truly terrible guy as Dread Pirate Roberts. So I think it is a mantle to be passed on that kind of gives you free roam more than anything. It allows you to get away with stuff more than just like, well, I'm going to take advantage of that by destroying your homes and taking what but I see a little bit more of a Robin Hood thing in Inigo Montoya's future.
Yeah. Yes, a good old I guess to be a good pirate. I don't know. That'd be a cool movie to see. Is the sequel to this where you just get the I guess maybe the gang is all together for a little bit. There's like this initiation period into becoming pirate, becoming into that life, and then they all split off and go and do their own thing.
I'm thinking about making a TikTok that is kind of funny. I think it would be funny, like one of those slideshow TikToks where you can like swipe through, and it's like a fan cast recasting The Princess Bride if it was made in 1990 to 1991. Which is only a couple years later, which is part of the funny bit. Wesley, played by Kyle MacLachlan. Princess Buttercup, played by Madchen Amick.
Yes.
The Giant, played by Carl Strikand. Inigo Montoya, played by Miguel Ferrer, and it's just the entire cast of Twin Peaks instead. I think that would be a fun bit. I would love to see this movie recreated with the Twin Peaks cast. Really, I think that would be
Lynch
awesome.
directing. What would that? God. Then what would that do? I don't know. Maybe that. Yeah, all of the happiness actually and the comfortness might be different if he goes there.
We'd probably have a lot more emphasis on the torture chamber.
If I had to guess, he would have built that thing. Yeah, he would have done
the rodents of unusual size would be horrifying. Let's see.
Man, yeah.
Six-fingered man would present as like an embodiment of the devil, Yeah,
we'd get some Inigo's dad coming back as a spirit or something when he's guiding his sword or something like that. I don't know. Lynch. I don't know. I thought it would be too jarring at first, but fuck it, let's go somewhere for the sequel. I don't know, but no,
let's do it. Yeah, let's take a big swing.
But no, I like. I don't. I love Lynch and I love what he does, but I think this is.
This isn't. No. This can never. This can never be.
Something I wouldn't actually want him to do. Yeah. But.
That's 100%. And, it is interesting thinking about this type of movie being helmed by other directors. Because one thing I love about Rob Reiner is that he's a real story first and director of actors. I think he's really, really good at getting what he needs out of his actors. And I think he really, really emphasizes the screenplay over everything else. And that shows in Stand By Me, When Harry Met Sally, and in The Princess Bride, because as a filmmaker, he doesn't have a visceral identity the way Lynch or Wes Anderson or even Scorsese or Spielberg have. When you're watching a Rob Reiner movie, you're not going to go, "Oh, I'm watching a Rob Reiner movie." You'll look at the credits and it'll go directed by Rob Reiner, and you'll be like, "No shit, Rob Reiner did that too." It's kind of the vibe he has. So it is interesting thinking about what this movie could look like helmed by a Wes Anderson, someone who does have such a specific lens they want to put on things. And that's why, like, I almost feel like the movie had to be made by Rob Reiner. Like, there's because he has this very, I don't know, he surrenders to the flow of the story. He doesn't dictate its flow, which is very unique, I feel like, for a relatively big name director. Yeah,
I feel like a lot of the point is to be like the kid and to fully immerse yourself in the story as well, and just to live the story, feel the story. But then if it had that ultra West flair, maybe part of my brain focuses a little more on that instead of like fully just going into the story. I don't know. Like I feel like maybe this more universal, feel that, or it's maybe it's a tough thing to describe because it feels just like he is capturing what or I don't know, what would be in your head when you're reading the story, and it's kind of dreamlike, but not dream. It's still very.
It's imaginative. I'm with you. It's very, very creative, but it doesn't put his foot forward. Like as far as a director, as the person envisioning the movie, he is allowing the story to kind of take priority and take hold and decide what the movie will be. And I think that is, that's brave as a director to kind of surrender to the flow of it that way. So yeah, I really respect The Princess Bride as a movie. It's one of those ones that everybody loves. There's not a lot of people who are like, man, fuck The Princess Bride. And if they are, it's like, okay, well, you must be fun. Exactly. One of my favorite bits from the last few months is that David Cornsweet during the promo of Superman, he'd bring up The Princess Bride like all the fucking time. He loves The Princess Bride. And so yeah, contemporarily, if there's going to be if there were to be a Princess Bride remake, I think we have a pretty big shoe-in my opinion, for Wesley. David Cornsweet would kill that. But regardless, I've got Emily. Emily's interested in watching the movie for the first time ever. Because her stepmom watched it, it was kind of like, or because her stepmom loved it, it was kind of like, well, my stepmom loves it, so what? Like I don't want to. So it was one of those for her. But recently, Iowa Debris of the Bear fame and growing movie fame, growing career, said that if she could watch a movie for the first time again, it would be The Princess Bride. And that was what made Emily go, okay, now there's a woman with an opinion I respect. So that was funny. But yeah, so I've got Emily. We'll probably watch it again here before the month is out because I didn't realize how essentially autumnal the movie felt. Like whenever they make it out of the fire swamp and the ground is covered in leaves and they're all red and orange and yellow and it's got these fall vibes. I didn't realize that the movie had that. I'd kind of forgotten that. I just knew it made me feel cozy, which is what made me associate it with November.
Very cozy month.
I love the movie.
Yeah, and you couldn't have. And this good. It's starting off the nostalgia kind of it all, and yeah, it does. It right in that time too is like this was a perfect shoe-in for the year, and I think I've also just become. I need a lot more romance or this fantasy genre movies in my rotation. I think just before I was just such a sci-fi heavy and I needed movies that have twists and make me think, and it needs to be so, serious. But now I'm like, no, I love
things.
I want more
so
camp.
Simple. Yeah,
I want more of this. I want more of stuff that connects me with times before, long before when like
four times.
Yeah, like love during this time period. Man, people loved, I feel like, just so much more. Like, it just was a stronger love. And I would like to think that there is no scale to love, that love is just love if it's true. And that's why, like, the quote of, death can't even stop love. It can only halt it for a time or something, something like that. It's like, man, it's like, it's cheesy, but then there's lines like that are thrown in. That's like, oh, man, it's like, just... true love can't, like what are we gonna do? It's the unknown. Are you gonna make it back? And it's like, of course I will. It's just that's what true love is, and it's just like, oh man, what we don't speak like that anymore. And we need to.
No, we don't. And there's an argument to be had that we never really did. It probably is mostly, it's our engagement with fiction that dictates that people ever did.
Yeah, do we just think it as like a more loving time, and
that's why I'm like, and I'm of the mind that we kind of do, because there are lines about love modernly that hit about as hard.
That's true.
As anything this movie has to say, but but they don't say them the same way. It is much simpler. It is much. It isn't as, I don't know. It's not as grandiose a sentiment. It doesn't feel quite as, I don't know. I think of Interstellar. Going back to one of those movies you were talking about with Anne Hathaway delivering like what we still don't understand love. It's propelling me light years and light years away, and I can't even guarantee it, but it is directing me in this direction. That's something, like that. It doesn't make sense. Like I love that. There's Andor had a really, really great line about love where when Cassian's about to leave the planet and he's like, I'll worry about you all the time. And she's like, well, that's just love. Nothing you can do about that. Like I love that, and yeah, exactly. So I'm like, when it comes to did they love more or love better back then, I don't think that there is a more or better. It's just a way that we've framed it in fiction that is almost, and usually we associate this quote unquote period of time with high fantasy. It's so inconceivable that that people ever actually lived in conditions similar to this for us, that we only ever frame it through a lens of, oh, well, there were knaves and nymphs and elves and such. It's
castles, and
it was actually a much dimmer.
Yeah, it was like
historically it was a much dimmer and grimmer time than now, or pretty much any other period. Which is why it's funny that we've decided that the era of knights and shining armor and stuff must be the most romantic of all.
Maybe that's the beauty, and the knights were truly so shiny because of how grim the rest of the world was, or they were the true people of chivalry or whatever. Yeah, but no, I had to think of actually just being a commoner, or like an actual just human during this time that isn't a king or part of the king's court, whatever. Yeah, life kind of blows, like, and you gotta a good 25
years to make sure your life's okay.
Yeah, we're old as fuck during this time. Like, we are, we're surpassing the life expectancy, and like,
he died of old age. Well, how old was he? 34.
Damn.
It's rough times. What happened? Plague. It's you caught the plague. We got to evacuate this village.
Had to burn them completely, to stop, just fucking, just stuff, man, and shit, just all out, no plumbing, no air conditioning, no.
I just know it stank in there.
Yeah, I mean, life. I'll take it back. I do like the life
I'll take it back.
We live today, but no.
I'm with you. The spirit that is carried in these movies about this mythical period. I would love if a little bit more of that could be imprinted upon the real world. That would be nice. But yeah, man, I don't know. The Princess Bride's really simple. I don't think I have much else to say about it. I just really, really love it. I think it's a sweet movie. It tugs at my heartstrings in just the right way. It makes me overwhelmingly happy. So that's how I feel about her.
Yeah. Very warm. Very, very cozy indeed, and like just an ensemble of people, I don't know, in movies that are just like Andre the Giant, I guess, kind of the anomaly. But like everyone else, it feels like I just know them in something else. But this is like them just being able to have fun and not be in Saw, especially Carrie Elway's like being in Saw and like in that setting. It's like, no, this is just fun all around, and this. I like I don't know, I'm thinking of it more of like an onion of from story to a grandson or grandfather telling it to his grandson, to a movie, to like us talking about it right now to, and it's the story that connects us all, the love of the story that connects us all.
Oh, absolutely. And building in an idea that it is generationally, it's capable of being passed down. The grandpa says, my father read it to me, I read it to your father, now I'm reading it to you. So it's one of those things where you'll be comfortable one day showing this to your kids and your grandkids, and that's a great way to build timelessness into your movie, which is it's a great idea. So I love The Princess Bride. And with that, I think I will go ahead and do the plugs. But after the plugs, we will rate this movie, and then we'll talk about what we've got coming up. But in the meantime, if you would, leave a 5-star rate and review. We would really, really appreciate it. Download wherever you might be listening. That is the only measurable metric I keep track of. It's the only one I care about. It is the only thing anyone seems to care about when it comes to promoting podcasts. So go ahead and download. I would appreciate it greatly. It just lets me know you're there, really, which is sweet. I like to know you're there. You can check out our other podcasts. We've got a Twin Peaks podcast. Brought that up during the show. It's called Fire Pod with Me, a Twin Peaks podcast. Right now we are in the midst of The Return. I believe next week is part 6. Yes. And we're really, like, the show is always heating up, but we're really heating up. So you got to check out part 6 of The Return. You got to check out Twin Peaks in general if you're going to listen to that show. It's friendly to the first-time viewer and the rewatcher alike, but you have to have seen up to where we are covering, because nothing before is safe. Everything after, I'm obviously not going to spoil for Joseph here. He's never seen it. So that's how the show works. Ultimately, you should just watch Twin Peaks, and then if you happen to want a podcast about it, we've got it. Fire Pod with Me. Let's see. We also have Geek with Me, a nerd shit podcast where we do Star Wars, comic booky stuff. Usually, whenever it comes to fantasy stuff, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, all that sort of universe building. It'll probably go over there from now on. But The Princess Bride is its own thing, baby. So we do that here. More important as a piece of cinema than it is as a piece of fantasy. So that, that's the kind of dictation there. But Geek with Me. Next month really is when we're going to return to really doing stuff on Geek with Me. We might put out an episode in November or 2. But nothing crazy, nothing strictly planned. But we had a nice October. We've got a nice December planned, and we're kind of taking it easy in November to focus on this podcast and on Fire Pod with Me. But and I'll go ahead and tell you ahead of the rest of the month, Nostalgia November. Next week we are going to be covering Robots, which is it's Joe pick. Joe loves robots, and we'll get him to explain why he picked it at the beginning of next week. So Robots coming next week. We've got The Great Gatsby, the 2012 Baz Luhrmann, Leo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire movie. That was my pick. And then the mutually assured pick is our Thanksgiving live commentary on Fantastic Mr. Fox. So can't wait for that. That's what we've got coming up. But let's go ahead and rate this movie. How do you feel about The Princess Bride on a scale of 1 to 10? All your feelings summed up in a number to throw on the Cinementalometer. What are we doing? I'm not quite, I'm not throwing the 10, I guess. It is comfort, and it is a really nice movie, but I don't think it hits me quite like a 10. And we have that threshold of 7 when it's becoming to be good. I know I'm not near there. So, I think I'm just somewhere kind of in the middle there. I'm in the 7, 5, I don't know. I feel like an 8 is kind of floor for how just warm and cozy it makes me feel. Right. And for these things. But elevating it past that much is kind of difficult. Let's see. Nightmare on Elm Street, I gave a 7.5. I don't know, if I'm in the horror mood, I guess it's a whole different thing there, but I do like this more than that. I'm trying to find Memento. That's interesting. That's an 8 flat as well. Yeah, I feel like I go back to this more than Memento. And yeah, not quite the 8.75. Yeah, I think an 8. I do kind of like that. For me. So I think that's where I'm landing.
for
I like
myself.
that. I like that because it's going to provide us with what is probably going to be our widest gap yet,
Ooh.
rating wise. Because my floor is 9.
Okay.
I love the movie. And you know, I think whenever it comes to the way the movie makes me feel, it did hit me in that way that made me cry last night. And that was for the first time. It's never happened when I'm watching the movie. So I don't know if if it's just getting better and better for me or what. But so I'm gonna go a little higher than 9. I'm gonna go 9.25. I'm gonna give it that little edge because I love it. I love the movie dearly. So what's that bring it to sentimental meter wise?
8.63, or the good old 86.
86. 86%.
So,
that's a pretty solid performance there by the Princess Bride.
Just barely below the Phoenician Scheme at an 8.75. Trying to look back further. Then we get back into Mission Impossibles are a lot of around that 8 number.
Around this. Yeah, all right. I like that. I like that.
So beats the classic Tron or the OG Tron, beats Pacific Rim, beats AI, beats Sorry to Bother You, Almost Rainbow. So, but barely on those. They're all very close.
Sounds right, though.
But yeah, there we are. Okay.
I like that. The Princess Bride, always very, very warm, fuzzy for me, so I love the way it makes me feel. So I love landing there, and I cannot wait to discuss robots with you next week here on the Cinementalists. With that, I think we can conclude this episode. I was Colton Robertson, and I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, homie.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, as you wish.